Hello everyone, welcome to Synergy Live. Really honored to have you back here, and we're going to be talking about lower back pain. It's a big topic, especially when we're talking about a chiropractic office. It's one of the most common ailments that we see in the office, and you know there's a lot of questions of where this comes from. A lot of frustration when that comes about too. It's almost like a tooth pain. You know, sometimes it shows up when you're sleeping. You wake up that morning and you're like, wow, where'd that come from? Or you open a windowsill and all of a sudden you get that really sharp pain in the lower back. Unfortunately, we don't know where it starts and where it comes from, but we do know that it doesn't happen over one little episode. It's something that builds up over a lot of sometimes years, if not months. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about where that pain is coming from. You read the little blog before watching this video, and we explained a little bit, and I'd like to show and explain a little bit more right where we're talking about the lower back. So if you look at the model here, you can see that through the last Synergy Live, we talked about the curves and posture. You can see those three curves here in the neck, in the mid-back, and the lower back. So the lower back pain really focuses right down in this area. And you can see that the joints, they line up in flexion and extension. So they allow a lot of this bending and extension. Okay. Sometimes what happens is when you have a breakdown in the structure, you have a breakdown in your posture, the load gets put on our structure more. Just think of postural muscles that are designed to keep this structure strong. If there's a breakdown in those muscles and you have a breakdown in your strength, all of the load is then going to be put onto that structure, and it puts more stress kind of like on that forward, like this. Now you can see here in the front, there's like a donut or a jelly-filled donut that separates each piece of our spine. Now that piece is really strong, but it only has so much strength. Over time, when you break down that structure or that posture, you're going to have little herniations that can possibly happen. Okay, so that's that little red thing right there. And you can see how close it's related to the nerve root. That can cause all sorts of pains, like pain down the leg or severe burning pain in that local area. Sometimes it disrupts the nerve enough to decrease the strength of the muscles that nerve feeds. So it's really important to figure out where that pain is coming from, and that's why we do such an extensive little exam when you first come in. But really, what the true cause of lower back pain? We've been finding that herniations, sure, little fixations or subluxations in the spine, that can also cause a lot of pain. Muscle spasm in that lower back, sure, that can also cause pain. But where does that pain really come from? What we've been finding through research and through studies and really looking at the structure is that when we have a breakdown in that posture, when you're sitting for long hours in the workplace and you're sitting in long hours in the car, there's a breakdown that happens in that structure and that posture. And that's really where that pain is coming from. Just think of that lower back. If I go into a position of this, and we've gone over this before, but I want to revisit. If I come from a position of this, and then I go into here, you can see how my lower back has just started to round. Okay, what I did is I got rid of all the strong muscles that help support that structure. That's the muscles in the back, but I also lose all of my strength from my glute muscles. So as I come like this, I'm no longer using my glutes, I'm no longer using the postural muscles in the back. And what happens? All of that stress, instead of being supported by those muscles, now we're supported by the bones and the structure of the spine. Now you can see over time, if it's not supported by muscle, but instead supported by the bones, there's going to be problems there. There's going to be a lot of pain, there's going to be a lot of irritation, and eventually arthritis will set in. Wolff's Law always tells us when there's an increase or an abnormal stress on a bone, that bone will then respond by laying down more bone. And that's what we call the arthritis or the osteoarthritis. So that's right where we get that arthritis is we sit for long hours of the day, we don't use our core, we're breaking down in that structure, and all of a sudden we have abnormal stresses smashing down on that spine. So that's where I'm going to teach you a couple of exercises today, and you've read through the blog. If you wanted to find out how to help this today, this is going to be the first step. So, all right, so going through that exercise, we're going to start by having your knees or your feet about shoulder width apart. And we're going to also have a slight bend in your knees. So you're going to have a slight bend in the knees about shoulder width apart with the feet. And you're going to bring your hips back, just like this. keep your shoulders nice and tall. Okay, I'm going to do side view so you get a little better idea of this. So I'm going to have shoulder width apart with my feet pointed forward. I'm going to have a slight bend in my knees, then I'm going to bring my hips back. Now the reason I'm bringing my hips back is it's going to allow me to keep my lower back nice and straight, or an extension. It's also going to keep my knees a little bit further back from my feet, so my knees are behind my ankles in a way. And naturally you're going to feel this, the weight being put on your heels more, which is great. It's a great movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to start there. You're going to feel yourself come back, and you're going to go down to a good point. So a lot of you may start here, and you're going to feel your lower back wanting to round. Stop. Go right to that point to where you feel that lower back is keeping an extension, and you're able to keep your knees behind the feet and feel that little tension creating right here in the lower back. From there, I'm going to bring my arms back like so, and my shoulders, and you're going to get into this position of extension. Okay? So right there, and you're going to, as you're in this position, you're going to start to feel a little stress creating right here in the lower back. And that's really where you're finding that weak muscle that has kind of been deactivated through bad posture. We're finding those lower back muscles that are a little weak, and we're strengthening them. So that's, again, to show you the exercise. We're going to come down a little bit here, knee bend, bring your hips back, back's nice and extension. Once we find that good place where we're not rounding, we're keeping good extension in our back, and then we bring our arms back like this, and you're going to hold for 15 to 20 seconds, whatever feels comfortable. Now if you want to go a step further, a lot of you I would suggest to start the first week just doing this for 15 seconds per day, a couple or a few times during the day, and hold that one position like this. If you feel really comfortable with that position, take it the next step, and we're going to bring our arms forward, and you're going to hold that position for 15 seconds. Okay? And again, you're going to feel even more stress creating in the lower back. Okay? So that's a great first start for learning and finding those weak muscles in the lower back that are creating a breakdown in your posture. And if you notice, what's going to happen is that those muscles are going to become strong. And naturally what's going to happen is you're going to go from a position of this to a position where that lower back gets into better position, and naturally your shoulders are going to come up and nice and tall, and your neck's even going to be affected too. So you're going to feel yourself a little taller, a little straighter, and that lower back pain is going to go away. Okay? If you have any questions about this, or you want to find out more information about your lower back pain, call me at 818-597-0000, or you can email me on the website, and all my information is there on the website. Hope you have a great day.